Hey everybody, this is Greg Ryder, CEO of Angel Investors Network, and welcome to another presentation brought to you by Angel Investors Network. I am super excited today because we've been involved with StarShop for, well, basically since inception. And I got the CEO lassoed, and I said, look, I need to get you on a hangout. I want to talk to you. I want to get an update. I want to get a complete update of where we're going, what's happening with the app. We believe this is one of these unicorn type apps, where you can make your own decision on that. Now, I do want to say this as we get going, as I always do with all of our presentations. This is not an offering to sell or sell stock or securities. This is just a presentation about the business of the company. And if you have further interest in many different areas, you can contact us or the company. So with that being said, again, this is Greg Ryder, CEO of Angel Investors Network. I'm proud to present StarShop, and I got Jim Morrison, the CEO of StarShop, with us. Hey, Jim, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Greg, great to be here.
So Jim is sitting right in his offices. That's the StarShop offices in the background. And tell a little bit about where you're at real quick.
So StarShop is located at 1560 Broadway, right in the heart of Times Square in Manhattan. When we saw this space, we just flipped. You're going to see a view later in the presentation from our studio overlooking Times Square. So if you kind of look behind me, you'll see the setup, and it's a very workable, new age office setup. And the concept that we had was kind of QVC meets TMZ. And we actually film here in the StarShop offices every single day. Out that way, there's actually a little shop set that we do a bunch of our videos in front of. And on the other side is a studio, fully functioning studio. We've probably set it up 20 different ways. It's been a kitchen one day. It's been a gym another day. You name it, we've sold it in that studio. And we do everything that you see on StarShop right here out of these offices.
I think it's so cool, and I think it's also strategic in that I know we've talked in the past, and because I've been involved for so long, the idea that celebrities are rolling through New York, they have some spare time, they can pop up to your offices and do some stuff with you is really kind of cool, and the companies you work with. I know you're probably getting into that later, but
every single day.
All right, cool. So here's what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've got a presentation that Jim put together. He's going to walk you through it, and at the end, if there's any questions, we'll go open it up for Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And you let me know when you see my screen, everybody.
We got it, Greg.
There you go. Okay, take it away, Jim. It's all yours.
Well, listen, first of all, I want to thank you for your time, and thank you for having the interest to hear about what we're doing at StarShop. It is a truly amazing concept that I think is going to just revolutionize the way people shop. And what I want to do is kind of introduce you tonight to not only the team, the vision, but the concept itself and why it's so radically different. So let's go to the next screen, Greg.
Yeah, I was trying to, something locked up on me there. Let me try that one more time. So let me go view, full screen. Oh, I'm at the last screen, no wonder. The first screen, the last screen are all the same. So we'll try this again. So view, full screen.
There we go.
There we go. Tapping into celebrity.
All right. So, obviously any business like this starts with people. And just to kind of give you an idea of the vision of StarShop, the vision started really with the gentleman that's on my left in the photo there, and that's Kevin Harrington. Kevin's the chairman of the board. Kevin and a group of us about almost 2 years ago approached the Sprint Corporation with the idea of actually putting an icon or an app on every one of their cell phones that would enable their customers to actually shop right in the palm of their hand. Kevin's got a long history of successfully selling products via video. He literally was the person who pioneered, one of the pioneers of infomercials in the U.S. market, owned a company called As Seen on TV. Again, amazing background in selling on video. And by the way, he was one of the original 3 sharks on Shark Tank. My background, as you can see, is slightly different, but still a lot of experience running companies. Spent 9.5 years as the president of L'Oreal here in New York. Ran and owned my own company out in California called Sexy Hair. And I've run startups and I've run companies with 5,500 employees. So feel like I've got a really good background in terms of management. The next screen. So some of the rest of the team that you'll see on the next screen, again, loaded with veterans. Up in the top right-hand side of that management team, I'll introduce you to a gentleman named Marvin Siegel. Marvin, again, has been selling product on TV for almost 40 years. His dad was the founder of QVC and the Franklin Mint. In the middle of the screen is Justin Fine. He's our Chief Marketing Officer. Comes to us from the e-commerce site Rue La La. Obviously, a lot of great experience in terms of selling to millennials and selling through this format. Lower right is our executive producer, Felicia Miller-Stair. She's a veteran of daytime TV, was executive producer of shows like Montel Williams, Ricky Lake. She's been a producer on MTV. Really, really great background in production. And then up in the top left-hand corner was my former CFO from L'Oreal, Bob McGrath. Spent 33 years with L'Oreal in their finance group, and he's with StarShop even at this early state as our CFO, and then our chief legal counsel, a brilliant lawyer by the name of Kendall Almarico. He's going to kill me for botching his name. He offices out of Washington, but is very involved in the day-to-day at StarShop. So an amazingly talented group of people at the top. And if you actually look behind me, I'm going to go to that one in a second, a great group of young people here in the office. We've got 16 employees. They're all in their 20s, as they should be, because every day what we ask is, would they buy our product when we put something up on StarShop? So what is StarShop? Let's go to the next slide here. You froze up on me again. Really what it is, it's a three-legged stool, and it's a combination of great merchandise with great video content and great marketing. We call it mobile meets marketplace meets media. It's a highly curated, very exclusive place that we hope people will come back to shop every single day. Let's go to the next one. And so there you see it just in different words. Mobile meets marketplace meets media. It's a multi-category, highly curated marketplace with exclusive media content. And it's really cool celebrities selling cool stuff. We looked at this as there was a gap in the marketplace. And we really saw a lot of trends taking place. For sure, TV viewership is way, way off. In fact, viewership on TV is off over 50% in the last 10 years. And where that viewership is the most radically off is with millennials. And so, as any of you know, that group of people shop from the palm of their hand, and we want to give them a brand new, revolutionary way to shop with StarShop. We'll talk about our partnership with Sprint in a second, but one of the unique things is that Sprint is fully our partner on StarShop. It's allowed us to break down barriers to entry that we never would be able to if we didn't have them as a partner.
No, and again, my comment on that is, when you have something like Sprint, that's what gives you the opportunity to be one of those unicorn maps that we're talking about as it relates to the investment community. So I just want to make that point.
We'll talk more about Sprint in a second. The business strategy is simple. To position StarShop as a unique online shopping destination, we're going to partner with amazing celebrities. We've already brought on some great vendors and brands, and we've got unique, different content every single day that you'll see when you tap into celebrity at StarShop. Very easy interface. Anybody that's sitting up there right now watching this, please do me a favor. You can either go to the Apple Store or to the Google Android Store, and you can download StarShop. It's free. It works on any phone, and you're going to see it's very, very easy to interface. You can shop by stars, and we'll show you more of the lineup of the stars. You can shop by celebrity. You can shop by product category, or you can shop by item. You can browse specifically curated collections. What you see up there is actually from Steiner Sports. And then you'll get a great description and an easy-to-buy interface on every single page. Checkout's very easy. We've tried to make this as simple as possible. And you'll see what I mean when you actually open up StarShop for the first time. One of the things that we've done from the beginning is try to stack the deck so that there are strategic partnerships that really give StarShop the strongest base that we could possibly have. The first and biggest of those partnerships with Sprint. So we are actually a full partner with Sprint. They own 25% of StarShop. They've built all of the back-end technology, done all the coding, and they're responsible for everything that we've seen and have needed leading up to the launch of StarShop. They continue to innovate today. They continue to develop. We'll talk more about Pinsight in just a second, but the wholly owned subsidiary of Sprint that was responsible for developing StarShop was Pinsight.
Yeah, that's like the top.
This kind of shows you a little bit of an idea of what Pinsight does. They're a world-class app developer and marketer. They've developed apps like the CBS Sports app, the One Weather app, but they are constantly bringing us new innovation, new features, and new development.
Well, don't they also do a lot of the advertising and the marketing on the online for the apps and their clients?
So not only do they do that, but one of the things that they do for us is they act as a liaison between us and Sprint. So for example, we go to Sprint with an event or something big that's happening. Pinsight, obviously being the partner there in that relationship, Sprint has the ability to do push notifications to tens of millions of their subscribers with whatever we want to promote on StarShop.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One of the other key strategic moves that we made from the beginning of the inception of the app was to partner with several big licensing and branding firms. The first one being Star Branding, which is owned by Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy manages the licensing careers of people like Jennifer Lopez, Nicki Minaj, Adam Levine, Mark Anthony. And so they bring us celebrities on a weekly basis. I was going to say daily, it's almost daily, and bring some of the top names that you see on the app to us to marry with product. Platinum Rye, same kind of thing. Platinum Rye has celebrities like Jessica Simpson, Nick Cannon, Kate Hudson, Kamora Lee Simmons. Same thing with Primary Wave. Primary Wave is mostly a music licensing firm. Primary Wave just brought us an amazing opportunity that I'll talk about later in the presentation with CeeLo Green. Another partner is Intellectual Artist Management out of LA. They're much more of a film and literary management company, but they oversee the careers of people like Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner, and Caitlyn Jenner, who are all pretty big names in the news today. And then on a daily basis, we are constantly getting celebrities brought to us by a firm called Central Talent Booking. Central Talent is actually a woman named Joanna Jordan, who books for talk shows like Meredith and Wendy Williams, Jimmy Kimmel. And so she's constantly bringing celebrities into New York. And when she does bring those celebrities into New York, they come right here to StarShop. Two partners from the beginning. And one of the very, very first investors was Paula Abdul. She saw the app a year ago and loved it, flipped out, and has become really our ambassador and a part owner. The same with Rodney Jerkins. Rodney is an extremely successful American music producer who, if you Google him, you'll just be amazed. He's really the second most prolific American music producer behind Quincy Jones. Won 2 Grammy Awards for Sam Smith's song Stay With Me at the last Grammys. He's constantly bringing us music talent that appears on StarShop. And there's our view from Times Square that I just talked about. Our studio overlooks Times Square, so we're constantly shooting on that backdrop. Very similar to what Good Morning America does, the old TRL on MTV many years ago, same kind of concept, but it really gives the app a New York world-class feel to everything we do.
No, and I had the chance to go to New York about a month ago, and it's just mind-boggling. I'm like, I want to be there for New Year's Eve one of these years, just to overlook all that mayhem from the quiet of your office.
Greg, you are getting you're getting your invitation as we speak.
Okay, cool.
So again, when you put StarShop, which we believe is a revolutionary concept, together with Pinsight and their marketing, it really gives us the ability to do some magical things in terms of our outreach with the app. Again, because of Sprint's affiliation with Pinsight and their ability to have access to millions of devices, we can actually communicate marketing messages instantly with literally tens of millions of Sprint subscribers.
Now, see, on this screen, it talks about Boost, Virgin Mobile, Metro PCS, and SoftBank Mobile. Can you talk about that just a second?
So along with Sprint, Sprint actually has relationships with a lot of the prepaid carriers. So people like Boost and Metro PCS. For example, I'm going to talk about CeeLo Green in a second, but the night that we launched the CeeLo Green, we call it our CeeLo Green takeover, Sprint will actually be push notifying not only to Sprint customers, but to Boost, Virgin Mobile, and Metro PCS. And just in those 3 brands, there's another 2+ million subscribers that will hear about StarShop.
That's awesome.
And again, we've got broad reach. It's extremely easy to discover. Very, very easy to use an interface. And again, one of the magical things is as we build up our base of not only users but email names, we will do our own outreach. So usually twice a week, we're doing an outreach to almost 200,000 people where we push notify on StarShop's own behalf what we're actually marketing that week. Just a little idea or vision of what we've got coming in the developmental timeline from Sprint. We launched the app on June 3rd, and it was probably a little bit early, but we all wanted to get the app to market by the time the first half ended, and so we were successful in that. Right after the launch, between June and August, we added the sharing function, which allows our customers to share StarShop with their friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then ultimately, in the month of August, we actually added promo codes, discount codes, and a freebie function to StarShop. So that was really, it gave us a chance to market in a different way. You'll see between now and the end of October, full search functionality come, and there'll also be additional functionality for merchandising and marketing. And then the real game-changing stuff happens in the first 6 months of 2016. We will actually add a personalization function to this so that when you come to that first screen, depending on your sex, if you're a male or a female, you would go in a different direction. Ultimately, by age, you'll go a different direction, which will really give us a chance to really uniquely, specifically market to that target audience. We'll add a gaming component. There'll be gamification on StarShop, a much more active social component, and then at some point in the beginning of 2016, we'll actually be able to do live streaming video on StarShop. Right out of the chute, we've gotten great brands, great merchandise to offer. You see an array of them, and they continue to come in day after day. I mean, every single week we have meetings with world-class manufacturers that you'll have availability to buy on StarShop.
Can you explain to me a little bit about the challenge that you've had or you haven't had, and why that is with getting these brands? Because I look at the celebrities you get and the brands you get, and to me, I want you to articulate to everyone why you've been able to accomplish that. Because it's just, to me, it's mind-boggling.
So there's a bunch of different things at work here. Number one, I have to say that it certainly helps, a startup like us to be able to say that we're partners with Sprint. That gives a huge level of credibility to the conversation when we're sitting with an LG or sitting with a Samsung. Secondly, is our management team. There's a high level of confidence knowing that around me are people, one of them that did one of the first infomercials, another one that was there the day they flipped a switch on QVC, another one that successfully marketed products on Rue La La. Great management team. And then finally, these manufacturers see this as a plus in terms of channels of distribution to them. They feel like because we're really we're a first type status, that it's not conflicting with their other channels of distribution. It's not taking business away from brick and mortar, and they feel that it's complementary in a lot of cases to their e-commerce strategy. And in almost every one of these cases, they don't have a mobile strategy as yet.
Now, when I look at that, like, I've done licensing before, and I've worked with big companies, invested in big companies, and I sit there and go, I know how difficult it is to get deals done with these guys. So it's pretty significant that you've been able to do that. And you moving on to
Greg, the best is yet to come. We've got some amazing brands coming down the pike here. And so there you see our celebrity products and just some of our celebrities. If you have downloaded the app in the last few minutes that I've been speaking, scroll down to the bottom and tap on the stars button, and you'll see today's list of celebrities. It's truly amazing who we've got on there already. And there is, on cue, there's just a few of the ones that we've been featuring on StarShop in the last few weeks.
And when you say feature him, can you again articulate a little bit more about that? When you say feature him, obviously you're marketing their products, but
what happens is every single day we switch out the tiles and the videos on StarShop. It's not necessarily a requirement, but we want to keep it fresh. And so when we do that, we actually we change the whole face of the app, and you'll see some of the people that we've got in this slide will be the video, but some of them will be the tiles under them. But every single day, it's a different look.
Now, when I look at this and I say to myself, is there any other app available on either any phone, any platform, where you have these kind of names and their products available for sale? Is there anyone else that's got this?
No, I mean, the amazing thing right now, Greg, is number one, we're first to market with this. We've been very, very successful in terms of who we've partnered with, both on a celebrity side and a brand side. And no, I mean, even the big shopping channels, the QVCs and the HSNs don't really have this kind of a lineup of celebrities.
That's amazing.
So just a little example of the power of what we can do and what we can do in partnership with Sprint. Through one of our strategic partnerships, we had an opportunity brought to us, and that was to underwrite the making of CeeLo Green's next music video. So on the 6th of November, CeeLo Green's new album will launch, and on the 9th of November, he will launch a music video from it called Work. Well, the only place that you can see that music video for the first 7 days is on StarShop, and all 7 of those days, CeeLo himself will use his social media to drive eyeballs to StarShop. Every single day he'll ask people if they want to see his video, they've got to download the StarShop app. And Sprint will also, in a very coordinated way, push notify tens of millions of their subscribers that the only place they can see this video is on StarShop. P.S. the 28th, which is this Wednesday, People magazine will feature an article about CeeLo Green in which it will state right in that article, the only place that you can see his music video is on StarShop.
That's awesome. Now, also tell us about, remember you shared with me a couple days ago that whole blogger strategy where you have a blogger.
Well, that was, we did something that I'm really proud of, and I wish I could actually say we've done it more. But we took one of the most prolific bloggers that's got a huge following in terms of just pop culture and sort of lifestyle. And we put the blogger in the video. So the blogger is actually going to be seen in the video and then blog about the video and about StarShop after the fact.
I love it. Okay, so every time I try to go to you, it jumps me back there. But anyway, that's okay.
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I'm not really a tech guy, but I pretend from time to time.
You do good. So another great thing right out of the gate is that we've gotten great press. We've already been written up in People once. This will be our second time. You'll see us again in Star. You'll see us again in Life and Style. The CeeLo Green video will be covered by Extra. It'll be covered by Access Hollywood. It'll be in Variety magazine. So we've got a lot of great things that have happened and that will continue to happen in terms of the press.
No, and the timing of that's just perfect going into the Christmas sales season for online stuff.
So, listen, I mean, right now, Greg, where we're at, as you know, is it's still early enough for investors to come in at a decent valuation. We believe that this round will close fairly quickly. And, as you know, as the relationship has gone on, we'll keep you up to date every week in terms of our progress and the growth of StarShop.
Okay. Well, let me say this. Anyone that's online that wants to ask any questions, you can go ahead and type your question in the chat box, and I'll get those. And I just kind of want to recap just for a second. So you got Sprint. They're a little over a year. And how is a year and a half or a year and a half now since maybe incorporation, or maybe it's even just a year?
No, we are a little bit over a year in terms of it's almost a year and a half in terms of the first meeting with Sprint.
Yeah. Okay. I happened to be with Kevin that morning when you got that agreement. But so moving on, now they've got that pre-launch, soft launch. They're working out the different things. They're figuring out the demographics. And that's the other thing. I really want you to talk to a little bit about this whole mobile commerce. Everybody knows we're going mobile. Mobile's where it's at. Everything's going to be mobile. And this is a mobile commerce app driven by celebrities and high quality products and the younger age. But I want you to talk about the ability of what you're doing in combination with Sprint and Pinsight Media and the demographics and the data that you can collect, and then how you can optimize things from an income standpoint.
Well, so first of all, the access to data that they have is just outrageous. I mean, you've got to imagine, they know literally what you're doing 24/7 because they can see the activity that you've got. I mean, the world today lives with a cell phone in one hand. It just there's no two ways about it. But let me give you a real specific example, and this is going to be very, very cool. We're doing a special event with Sprint and the NFL the last weekend in November, in which Sprint is actually picking 8 metropolitan marketplaces that all have NFL franchises, so they've all got a football. And we will geo-target in those 8 metropolitan areas, inviting that person to come. Now, we know they're a football fan, so I'll give you an example. We're going to geo-target Atlanta, Georgia, and you're going to see a push notification in the middle of the Falcons game that will say, for the coolest, hippest, newest Falcons gear for him and the sexiest, funnest Falcons gear for her, download the StarShop app today. And you're going to get that push notification on your cell phone while you're watching the Falcons game. Now, from what they know and from what they've told me, the conversion rate on that kind of thing is 5 to 6 times higher than it would be for any other normal type of cell video push notification. And by the way, those 8 metropolitan areas actually have about 20 million subscribers in them.
That's awesome. Now, Jim, I know you can't guarantee downloads and income and all that kind of stuff, but can you give us an idea, if we were to fast forward, say 3 years from now, upon a successful execution of the business plan, the marketing strategy, how many phones do you imagine will be on this? And then is there anything going on in the worldwide marketplace that you can talk about?
Right, good question. Listen, I mean, Greg, in our very near horizon, we believe that we'll be at 10 million users for StarShop. In fact, within our 3-year plan, 25 million users is very, very realistic. But in terms of global expansion, we've already started that process and that conversation. We've got a potential partner in Canada, a potential partner in India, and a potential partner in France, and ultimately Europe. But the big edge that we will have is that the largest single shareholder of Sprint is a Japanese investment bank called SoftBank. SoftBank globally owns parts of cellular carriers that have close to 400 million subscribers. So the day that we actually start to leverage their help, me talking about 25 million users is small change. We literally could have the leverage of being introduced to 400 million subscribers worldwide.
Now see, I think about that and you go, when does that happen? Like, what do you think has to trigger before the SoftBank starts opening those doors? Is it just time, or is there 18 months maybe?
Our situation, Greg, is that we really have not asked for any leverage or any help from them at all. Our plan systematically is to get the U.S. up and running, to get a product that's really humming, which we're on the way to that right now. Events like the CeeLo Green thing or the NFL thing that I described, those are going to add a ton of users to StarShop. We want to be at some form of a critical mass before we start to think about taking this to Asia or to South America or to someplace like that. But I would tell you, it's a conversation we will have in 2016.
No, I love it. And again, for those of you who, I've done a lot of research in this area, and one of the other apps that's in the marketplace that sells, they're like a aggregator for all kinds of stuff, but it's called the Wish app. And the Wish app is going into their 3rd year. I think it was their 3rd year business. They've got 30 million active users, and they're valued at, their last funding was at $3 billion valuation. So to give you an idea of where that mobile commerce is going, when you get up in the tens of millions of active users, the numbers are staggering. And speaking of that, can you give us any numbers, or do you have any stats that you're allowed to share? I know with Sprint and stuff, sometimes you can't do that. But as far as like the average amount somebody spends on a purchase through the app?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you what the averages are. I mean, the average amount of time that somebody is spending on StarShop is north of 6 minutes. So we know that that's, 6 minutes means it's pretty sticky already. Our goal is to have it be even more. And the average amount of our sale is north of $60. So again, when you start doing the math and you're talking about millions of users, if you've got millions of users that at average $60, you've got a decent amount of commerce already. But yeah, north of 6 minutes on app, the amount of time that somebody's on the app, and north of $60 on sales.
Okay, so we have a question coming in. So, okay, I understand that Sprint owns 25%, but what are they contractually obligated to do?
So we've got an operating agreement with them, and they're contractually obligated to continue the development of the app and to continue a marketing effort on our behalf with us for the app.
Okay. Here's another question. If you're doing $60 a sale, what is the financial model? How much profit does StarShop make on a sale like that?
So we in our financial model basically take the place of a retailer. The manufacturers that we buy from, we try to buy from at wholesale at traditional Keystone. So if you can just imagine that if we're selling something for $30, we're trying to buy it for $15. Now, obviously, when you know anything about this kind of commerce, that gross margin doesn't work across many channels. There's channels that have got just much lower margin, but that's basically what we go in. We go in looking to be the retailer, and those manufacturers function as a wholesaler.
So your margins could vary based on various products and services, but you're looking at that. Is that like a Keystone where you try to mark it up 100%?
Yeah, I mean, so you start there. You're starting with a 50. But again, if you're in categories like electronics or some forms of jewelry or some apparel, that margin is not as high. And so the blended margin is ending up somewhere north of 30%. Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm going to call it. I don't see any more questions coming in. If anyone has a question, go ahead and throw it in the chat box, and we'll ask that question.
And Greg, as usual, anytime you've got something that you want us to handle in terms of a conversation, a question, anything that you need from us, we're here for you.
Well, no, I appreciate that. And the other thing that I'm always saying on these calls is if you know some celebrities or you know some people that have some products, can you talk a little bit about, let's say somebody has a really unique, cool product. What kind of products are you looking for? And do you match them with a celebrity, or how does that work?
So it's a good question. The answer is yes, we do. If you think about the fact that we start by envisioning what would a millennial think is cool and what would they want to buy, that kind of gives you at least some of the basis for what we're looking for to put on the app. We have products coming to us every single day that have no affiliation with a celebrity whatsoever, but we also have celebrities coming to us every single day that have no affiliation with a product. So our merchandising team, and they're all still here, that's great. We're in New York too. So it's closing in on 6:30. Our merchandising team marries those products with celebrities that come in the door every single day.
Awesome. Well, I got one more question, then we'll wrap it up. So with your typical home shopping network and QVC network, they got big, huge warehouses, and somebody's asking me about inventory. And I know, and having conversations with Kevin in the past about this, that I think one of the great things about your models, you've eliminated all of the costs and all of those big overhead expenses of the QVCs and the home shopping networks, which is a proven model. But talk about how things get shipped and inventory and that part of your business model.
Well, the beautiful thing about this model, especially from a working capital standpoint, is because of the fact that when you buy something today, I charge your credit card today, I pay that manufacturer in either 30 or 45 days, depending on our contract, but in the worst case scenario, it's in 30 days. So from a cash flow standpoint, we have no inventory, we have no warehouse. It's just an absolute dream of a model from a working capital standpoint.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Well, this has been Greg. I don't see more questions. Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate it. And we'll try to do this on a regular basis and get updates and that kind of stuff. If you have any last little closing comments you want to leave us with?
Just that this is the time to get involved with the app. You're going to see us take off. It's an absolute out-of-the-park grand slam, and we'd love to have you in it from the early stages here.
All right, I appreciate it, Jim. So this is Greg Ryder, CEO of Angel Investors Network. If you need any questions, you can call our offices at 760-233-2860, and we'll get any questions. And if you have a product, a celebrity, and there's a reason to get you in touch with StarShop, we'll make sure you get in touch with the appropriate person. So this is Greg Ryder saying thank you very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time, and have a fantastic day.
All right, thanks, Greg.